For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Some people are getting mad, and therefore they are speaking out against a particular form of injustice. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as on the YouTube channel. I'll be hearing from you at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. And Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. One individual in particular is saying, enough is enough. And finally, some people understand what it is when you are unfairly targeted, when you are victimized, when government entities and government officials and party hacks are deciding not to provide you with advertisements on your program. And that's because you're so critical of their party. So they're using that leverage against you. The fact that they can determine whether they provide you with advertisements that could, in some cases, determine whether you remain on the air or not. And in other instances, they reward you for the fact that you are peddling their ideas and you're part of their mission. You can recall, a few months ago, I took issue with my good friend, Siobhan Alfred of the NIC, calling NewsSpin to promote the various initiatives that were being advertised by the corporation. And he was doing so pro bono, gratis, until I pulled the plug nicely. And I said, enough is enough. The NIC, a statutory corporation, is there for the benefit of us all. And if NewsSpin is popular enough to be utilized to promote your various programs and initiatives, why not give us a blind? Why not advertise on the program? Well, instead, the NIC would use their various advertisements and play them on other media outlets, rewarding those radio stations and TV stations, and let's be honest, not even radio stations, maybe 2 radio stations, which are deemed to be satellites of the government, and maybe 1 particular television station, rewarding them for all the work they would have done in the run-up to the last general election. Now, as always, I always fight my battles alone. I never seek or enlist the assistance or the support of other people. Because in this St. Lucia of ours, rest assured that any journey you undertake, there'll be a lot of people who will be on the sidelines quietly monitoring you, but they'll never come forward to join you in that particular journey. And so, as has been the case over several decades, my battles have been fought on a solo basis. I've won some and I've lost many, but I continue to thrive and survive. So I came across this voice note of a particular talk show host saying, enough is enough. But I didn't get the gist of that comment until somebody told me it had to do with advertising. And the fact that it's only a few, maybe 1 or 2 television stations, maybe 1 radio station in particular, that is benefiting from the advertising dollar that is associated with Carnival 2024. And that's a national event. You want all media outlets to be on board, to preach, to advertise, to promote St. Lucia's main cultural showpiece. And he was saying enough is enough, and he was saying that, there are 2 people out there maybe are too coward not to speak about it. Well, as far as this issue is concerned, I am an exception, because the record is there. Just play some of my NewsSpin programs, and you'd realize that I've been speaking my mind as far as this skewed action on the part of the government and its operatives. Let us listen to what Stanley Lustian of Radio 100 said earlier this week. And, one would have thought that the fact that HTS, Radio 100, they have been doing the bidding of the government, they have been very nice, accommodating to the government. They're seen as an arm of the government. So you have NTN, and then you have HTS and Radio 100. I mean, to me, if you are brown-nosing, I expect you'd be rewarded. But apparently, that is not the case. Let us listen to that outburst by Stanley Lustian earlier this week.
HTS, other stations too, getting nothing of the pie, and one said have enough, they stuffed. How could that be? That's not St. Lucian, that's not right, that's not moral, that's not ethical. It is not. We have to talk against it. No, but it's not, Igor. How could that be? So there must be a reckoning. How is that going? How is that happening? How is that being managed? How could that be acceptable? I will never support something like this, Ika. I will always condemn it. And it has to be condemned. It has to be condemned regardless what party is in power. You have to condemn that sort of behavior. It's not acceptable. It went on for a year. Everybody remained silent, just hoping, boy, we just coming out of COVID, we're having carnival, so okay, maybe it's going to be different. That nonsense can't continue forever. When you are given a responsibility for something, if a particular minister comes and say, hey, Ika, I want you to manage this for me, it's not for Ika to, to advance her personal self, get any personal gain from it. That's not what it's about. It's about Ika managing this thing and doing it properly. Well, she's going to be rewarded. She's going to be paid. No, we're not some banana republic. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. That behavior has gone on for too long and everybody remaining silent. Everybody quiet, bunch of cowards. No, it's not acceptable. It's absolutely not acceptable. Anyway, I'll have more to say on this. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Finally, he speaks out. So they're really feeling it, the effects, in their pocket. That is what I can deduce from this outburst by Stanley Lucian. It is really showing up in terms of the coffers of Radio 100 and HTS. And out of frustration, very much out of character, Stanley Lucian is taking on the status quo on this particular occasion. I have no doubt that more people in this country will start to speak out, because they have been on the fence for too long, just waiting, just watching, just being part of the audience, as opposed to at least try to be a protagonist from time to time. Hold your own. If something is happening and it is wrong in our society, don't wait until it affects you directly to speak out. So they're feeling the heat in a particular part of their body, so they have to shout. They have to holler. This issue about the fact that the government, in terms of the advertising dollar, where the jazz festival is concerned, where carnival is concerned, is using the advertising dollar to prop up certain media outlets, and in the process causing others to suffer. Government ministers, government officials, that's not your money. This belongs to the taxpayers of this country. And do not use it as a weapon to get at people you perceive not to be supporting the government or your party. So Spider Matute also spoke on this issue earlier today on Rev Up St. Lucia during the program Meet the Opposition.
Tamara Gibson is associated with Radio Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
There are many opportunities that are given to Radio Caribbean, even to Tamara Gibson herself, okay, who is very much involved in directing what happens in Carnival. And she is also involved, I think, in tourism as well. So these people, when you look at the players involved and the people who get the jobs and so on, they are all connected and all have a direct link with the St. Lucia Labour Party. There's no question about that, no doubt about that. And these people go about it in a systematic way. You can ensure that their people are the ones who benefit. Now, for some reason, HTS, who has been doing, and Stanley in particular, has been doing quite a pretty good job for the government, felt offended and slighted that they were not getting their fair share of the pie. And he spoke out about it, and I give him credit for that, for speaking out against it. But, I mean, I'm saying, Andre, with all the ads and all the promos and things so that were going on, did Rev Up get their fair share?
Nothing.
You know? So
We got nothing.
You know? I mean...
Not one.
And these are the things that we have to speak out against, because it is... Let me just explain to you, Andre, you asked me, what does that have to do with me? You might ask me that. It is my tax dollar that you're playing politics with. Okay? I couldn't be bothered, whether it is Andre Paul or this one or that one, but everybody ought to get a share of the pie. And that is what a true democracy is about. And when you talk about a government for the people, I mean, they pride themselves about putting people first. It's a small clique that they put first. Because if you put in people generally first, you would ensure that you share the pie. And these are the things.
And by the way, the same applied for the Jazz Festival. We got nothing.
Nothing, right? That cannot continue. Whereas one set of people are enriched through those events, like Carnival and so on.
But isn't that a conflict of interest? I'm talking about Tamara Gibson. Isn't that a conflict? I mean, you have a radio station. You also the chair of the Carnival Planning Committee.
Well,
right? Certainly, if you're in that position, you would favor your radio station. But I mean, that doesn't mean you can't be open enough or mature enough to share the goodies.
Well, you see, the thing about it is that we don't talk about it as we should. But this government is a government of conflict of interest. There's no question about that. I mean, we see it happening in so many times, so often, in so many cases. That's what's happening. There's a lot of incestual operations taking place in this government. And, that is the problem that, a lot of St. Lucians don't speak out against, because you're afraid that they will marginalize you, they will target you, they will victimize you, and so on.
That's a microcosm of a bigger problem. Do you know there are declarations against such practices? There is a declaration called the Declaration of Chapultepec. CHAPULTEPEC. The Declaration of Chapultepec. And it came into being in 1994 in Mexico at the Inter-American Press Association's Hemisphere Conference on Free Speech. And after this conference, some 10 declarations were formulated. And I'll just go through the relevant two. In light of the actions of this administration, in terms of penalizing some media outlets, and on the other hand, rewarding others to do their bidding. Because come the next general election, they would have to host some free programs, either on the radio station or the television station. So it's payback, quid pro quo. So let's go through the two relevant ones. 10 principles were agreed to. And in this case, the applicable ones are 6. Number 6. The media and journalists should neither be discriminated against nor favored because of what they write or say. That's one of the declarations. The media and journalists should neither be discriminated against nor favored because of what they write or say. The other one. Tariff and exchange policies. For the importation of paper or news gathering equipment, the assigning of radio and television frequencies, and the granting withdrawal of government advertising may not be used to reward or punish the media or individual journalists. The principles, the relevant principles, which came out of the Declaration of Chapultepec, which came into being in 1994. We go through them again. The media and journalists should neither be discriminated against nor favored because of what they write or say. The other one, tariff and exchange policies for the implementation of paper or news gathering equipment, the assigning of radio and television frequencies, and the granting, withdrawal of government advertising may not be used to reward or punish the media or individual journalists. Is that what is happening right now? And I know some of you ignore me on certain issues, if not maybe all issues. But if another media outlet is crying foul, something is wrong. Something is absolutely wrong, and it has to be addressed. Because if that is what is before us right now, that is what we know. What about the various deals that are being agreed to behind closed doors? Talking about possibilities. And what are we going to do about it? Will we continue in that vein? Because it will only worsen with general elections around the corner. But somehow, I'm encouraged by what is happening at this time. Finally, people are wising up. People are understanding what is taking place in St. Lucia, where this whole hypocritical talk about putting the people first. Yes, some people are being put first. But you know, sometimes in a room with two individuals, or three or four, I describe them as people. But we need to take care of the masses. Stop giving the masses crumbs. And then the people, 3 or 4 or 5 people, are the ones who are getting the lion's share, or benefiting from the lion's share of state resources. Carnival is our thing. Jazz is ours. Whatever national event, it is ours to promote. And it's not in the interest of the politicians, in the interest of the country, to ensure that those events are properly promoted. Not by just one TV station or 2 TV stations that were nice to you all. Now you have to reward them. Or one particular struggling radio station in particular that you have to reward. This is the funds do not belong to you. Just think about this. This is so egregious. This is so unwarranted. This is so unacceptable and ought not to be tolerated. Your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And this is where Kimani steps in to go through some of the comments in the chat room. Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Tim. A few comments in the chat, but we have a lot going on. The chat room is very fired up by the statement made by your media colleague.
I could imagine.
One comment in the chat, someone says, Tim, go after Tamara Gibson for your payment. It is long overdue. And I actually responded saying I will be putting some fire under your butt so you could go after it because I want a piece of the pie.
Things are going to be happening behind the scenes, don't worry.
A few other comments in the chat room. Someone says, now that Stanley has made some noise, they will throw some ads his way to shut him up. A YouTube comment, Tim, question, wasn't there a media outlet which people were saying experienced the same thing a couple years ago? Wished you had spoken your mind then. Another comment, même bâton qui bat chien noir, c'est même qui bat chien blanc. Can you say that better, Tim?
It speaks for itself in Creole, but it means basically the same stick that beat the white dog will automatically beat the black dog. So what goes around basically comes around.
Another comment, Choice and NBC taking everything, but yet they still want to reopen Radio St. Lucia. Another comment, Spider is right. It's a small clique they put first, not the people in general. Someone says, that is why I cannot and will not ever take these guys serious. Another comment, from time you criticize them, they try to blackmail you. Shameful behavior. Tim, tell us a little more. We want to hear the rest of the tape. And someone actually asked for the tape to be replayed.
I don't think they are on Facebook, so I don't have a recording of that statement that was made by Stanley earlier this week.
Another comment, that is the second talk show host crying out. Another comment, sad how the country's cultural activities have been politicized. Let's see what else
I think we have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
I want to say, I think we have a new definition for corruption. And, when you hear media personnel, shouting out in that manner, it speaks volume. And I want to say to the gentleman, for too long, persons have been silent. Sometimes when you are fed with this kind of bitter pill, it gives you the feeling of what others went through. And I'm hoping, Timothy, because, for a while, lots of solutions have been crying out about the level of transparency, the level of corruption, the level of nonsense that is happening in this place. And it was a select few. Because things were going all right in the chambers, they stayed silent. But I know, Tim, I knew they would not be able to continue in that way. Because something tells me, Timothy, that we are on the brink. We are on the brink of people starting to come out. Because the frustrations are too much. In every nook and cranny of this island, there are people who are suffering and people who have had enough. And this is a government that said they are for the people, for the poor, the marginalized. Boy, I want to understand that language when I see the level of corruption, the level of victimization, and the level of segregating. And sometimes you feel like you don't even have a voice. Because if you speak about government, they want to take you to that. The government is not always right on what they do. And Timothy, my ancestors were slaves. They fought for the fundamental right for me and others to have that liberty of freedom to express ourselves, to be free. And I refuse to be in a country where I am not free. My ancestors paid for that, and they paved the way for that. And nobody, Timothy, will keep me silent. Nobody, whether it is this present administration or, the one that left, nobody will keep me silent. Because if I take my case, I will say it. Enough is enough. We have to come out and let people know enough is enough. Thank you, Timothy.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. WhatsApp message, somebody says, what goes around comes around. HTS, Andre, and his brother are all part of the labor camp. I have no evidence to prove this. All right, Kimani, let's turn our attention again to the chat room.
In the chat, someone says, Tim, would you feed a snake that will bite you? Stop worrying about it. Someone says, one of the main things this party ran on was transparency, but with the dark more than ever. Amazing. Another comment, well, we have to remember that the SLP slogan was not putting people or St. Lucians or citizens first. It was putting you first. So the question is, who are the yous? Is it the yous who supported or are supporting them, the same FFF, friends, families, and foreigners that they accuse the former government of?
We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Well.
Rick Wynn.
There's a pastor, a Lutheran pastor. I won't read the whole thing. But he made the point when he said, first they came for the socialists, and I did nothing because I'm not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did nothing because I'm not a unionist. I went on and on. And said they came for the Jews, and I did nothing. Now they come for me, and there's no one left to speak for me. You got that?
I got it. Loud and clear.
Tim, back in the 80s, because everything has a history. If you don't give people the history, they don't know the enormity of the problem, and they don't know how much they contributed to the problem. Regular people contribute to the problem. I've been listening to the even early in the day, the reactions. Why, Tim, this and that. Nobody is saying, the people of this country have got to take a stand and stop this by doing this and by doing that. Let me tell you something, Tim. As far back as I don't have to tell you the history of Starr and Rick Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how many times I was put before the courts by politicians, government politicians. How many times? Why? Because I wrote things that turned out to be true. I remember writing one of the biggest stories ever about a prime minister's involvement with an underage girl. There were priests in the pulpit saying, why only now? Why is he doing that? Priests in the pulpit supporting that incident, supporting the person I was writing about, and saying, why only now? Priests in the pulpit. And you remember the OECS, attempted OECS units. Was that the 80s then?
That would have been in the early 90s.
Early 90s? No, I think it was more 80s.
No, early.
But anyway,
early 90s.
Never mind. It's a long
is
time
it
ago.
at Cunard Le Talk? I don't think it was Sandals at that time. It was Cunard Le Talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the country was invited to go out there and speak your mind without fear of favor and all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I went and spoke my mind. And among the things I said was none of the islands represented there was famous for protecting human rights. Eric Gary was notorious, his man was there, etc., etc. I pointed that out, and I even said that when individual evil people come together in one place, the place doesn't become a church, and neither those evil people collectively become a seminary. It's just a congregation of devils. So, etc., etc. Well, the day's prime minister came out contrary to his word, and this was being televised throughout the region. And he blasted me hell all over the place. He even stole a line from George Odlum that this cancer must be cut out of the body politic. This cancer, the Starr and Rick Wayne, must be cut out of the body politic. And I like to tell this story for one particular reason, at least the primary reason, was that a certain minister of the government of the day wrote letters and also some of the women closely associated, went around to the different firms, our advertisers, early days, our advertisers, to pressure them into pulling their ads. And one particular company, and I will mention them, and I will always be grateful to them. Bain. What's the company that
is that Northwest? Northwest.
Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
He in particular was severely pressured by some of the most powerful politicians and their allies to take his little strip of the ad from the Star. And he said, I will not do that. And we kept that ad until, I think, perhaps until we eventually closed. But he stood up. But so the point I want to make to you is those politicians are quite harmless, quite toothless, without the people being their teeth. It is the people of the country who serve as politicians' fangs. You have to think about that. No politician has any fangs to sink, no snake fangs to sink into you, but for the people being their fangs. And one more thing, Tim. Don't cry for me, Argentina, because while you are denied the ads and the support, And not only that, strings being pulled behind the scenes, quite apart from the ads and whatever, to sink you.
Yeah.
You see, they will support everybody else but you and pull every trick to sink you because they want to sink you.
You call that in the solution panels, you call that complot.
Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. Let's call it compliance. Because the people, you'd be surprised, the people who will profit from the victimization done to you. So they will be kissing butt like you would not believe, with a greater energy. So if you are thinking, and that is what Lucien is finding out, or HTS, not just Lucien. Lucien spoke out, but it's not Lucien, it's HTS. And Mr. Even-handed, who doesn't know the news, and my good friend, I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. I mean, Andre Paul became quite famous for not having heard certain news when he would be asked about it the next morning or the next day. He'd say, "Well, when the news comes on, I'm doing my show," as if you can't check news after your show. But he was Mr. Even-handed. That's how most people saw him, or at worst, government in power. At worst, okay. So it's not Lucien crying out. I'm inclined to pat Lucien on the back, because Lucien could have joined the others, and HTS doesn't belong to him. I want to make that very clear. Not that I am going against what you said. I'm just giving a different dimension. I'm saying that it is not Lucien showing being squeezed out there, etc. It is the company that he's speaking up for. And you would think the management, the owners of the company, would stand out and be the first to talk to the owners of the company. Come out. But you don't get that. I applaud Lucien, but I also take note, it's not the owners of the company that come. And this thing has been going on forever. And remember, like I said, all of those things that happen to us in this country, the courts not working, people who have stained reputations, fronting as if they're like the driven snow, people who are disbarred from certain professions. You see them fronting on government things, like almost as if the government was going out recruiting the nastiest people to front for them, to represent them, to be exemplars in their name. We should be careful. And this matter of giving people a second chance. The second chance you give people is to absorb them into the society, not put them in the same job to do the same thing over again, because that has impact on the other people who look at it and say, well, look, this person did so and so, no problem. What's going to happen to me, etc. We have to show people that criminality, that antisocial behavior and all those things don't pay. On the evidence, the opposite is true. That you can do what the hell you want, and if your party is in power, and if you kiss for so and so, and if you do so and so, you'll be cool, you'll be front, you'll be a star. That is what's going on in the country. So it's not just one area we should be talking. What you talked about there today is only a little pimple of the real problem. And I want to finally say that the real problem is our own colleagues, our own fellow media people, etc., who have caused the situation we have now and been going on for a long time. Look at how many journalists have found their way into government things. I was perhaps the first, when I left The Voice, to become John Compton's personal assistant, and I was pissing on him, etc., etc. I was on the verge of getting fired from The Voice and going back to the States, and John Compton wanted me to be his personal assistant. Personal assistant, despite the fact that it is because of him I was getting fired. And I remember Willie James ran a vox pop asking people, well, why did Rick Wayne take that job when he's been, etc., etc. And I wrote to Willie James and I said to him, you should have asked me directly and I'd have told you, because I am not taking Compton's job so I can become something else. I was exactly the same. That's why I then got fired by Compton, but they forced him to fire me because I would not change. same as Kenny Anthony fired me from the Senate because I would not change. I always sing the same song. So I'm ready to answer those questions anytime. What about you, Rick? What about you? Because that's very commonplace. Anytime anybody wants to ask me, what about you, Rick? I can answer. So hold tight, fella. Let us hope one day our St. Lucian people will realize that the fangs and the venom of the snake, they are the venom, and they are the snake, and they are biting their own asses. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rick. Still to come on the broadcast. Somebody says, repeat after me. Protect the victory. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
Understanding the financial impact of job loss, First National Bank offers job loss insurance, specially designed to provide our customers support during such uncertain times. In the event you lose your job, coverage provides a financial cushion, easing your worries while helping you navigate career transitions. This coverage ensures that a job loss doesn't have to mean a financial crisis, providing you with the support that you need when you need it most. We are committed to standing by our customers in all of life's ups and downs. Our job loss insurance is more than just a policy. It's a promise of support, offering peace of mind and financial stability, ensuring that you can face career challenges without the added burden of financial stress. First National Bank, here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640, or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
When you feel the vibes and the music sweet, KFC on the road giving you the beat. One sandwich, so chicken fries in your hand, a drink to go, best deal in the line. Food for the road.
Enjoy Food for the Road this carnival. For only $30, you get 2 pieces of chicken, 1 sandwich, 1 regular fries, a biscuit, and a 16-ounce soda. But that's not all. There's more. When you purchase this offer, you get a chance to win carnival costumes, event tickets, KFC vouchers, and more. This carnival season, get your KFC Food for the Road. It's finger licking good.
Oi, shh, Vintanza. The carnival spirit just enter Europe hardware, you know, and they are slashing prices as much as 15% off. Imagine, still FS 120 and FS 235 brush cutter, now at 15% discount. What? But it's true, you know. The people say, keep the sale going, and Europa say, okay, let's do this. I just come from there and I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Everything with a green tag is priced to go. Welding machines, steam cleaners, vacuum cleaners, pressure washers, power generators, just to name a few.
No, Missy, I jump in on now and now.
Visit Europa in Massad or call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds. It's your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Get your accommodation ready for the event season. Jazz, T20 cricket, and of course, St. Lucia Carnival with hot showers powered by a tropical solar water heater. We offer a variety of sizes for any house, apartment, or hotel, and efficient installation within 24 to 48 hours of purchase. Call us today to find out what specials we have in store for you. With 3 convenient locations in Beaufort, 454-6344, Castries, 453-1868, or Grosley, 450-8201. Tropical Solar, good for the environment, good for you.
Discover the future of body imaging innovation at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, where the gold standard in MRI technology meets unparalleled medical expertise. From the intricate neural pathways of the brain to the delicate structures of the spine, and from the vital functions of the heart to detailed multi-parametric MRI of the prostate, our higher resolution images see the unseen from head to toe. Our radiation-free Signa Prime Tesla 1.5 MRI machine is assisted by artificial intelligence, enhancing its precision in creating quality images for our trained radiologists to give you more accurate readings. Our facility ensures fast access to specialist doctors, including pain management, rheumatology, and family medicine. Proudly serving as a world-class facility in the OECS, we bring international standards of healthcare within your reach. There is no longer a need to travel overseas for superior medical services. Experience the pinnacle of diagnostic precision and patient care right here in St. Lucia. Schedule your MRI with La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, located in Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 for your appointment. For your peace of mind, ask about our flexible financing options, including our co-pay system for clients with healthcare.
M&C Home Depot Vide Boutte will be closed for renovations beginning Sunday, July 14th. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause as we work to improve the look and feel of our store for you, our valued customers. Get ready for a fantastic new shopping experience.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexar, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
Protect the victory. Sakafayo Fache, protect the victory. I say again to all Labour Party people, protect the victory. And say it after me, protect the victory. Say it after me. Protect the victory. Protect the victory. Sakafayo Fache, protect the victory. I say again to all Labour Party people, protect the victory. And say it after me, protect the victory. Say it after me. Protect the victory.
Kimani, say after me. Protect the victory. Kimani, say after me. Say after me. Protect the victory.
Protect the victory too.
You have to do that. Your calls at 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Mr. Rigobert is online. Good afternoon to you, sir. You are on the air.
Good
Good afternoon, Tim.
Mr. Rigobert, good afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm good by the grace of God. Good afternoon, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
So repeat after me. Protect the victory, Mr. Rigobert.
Protect the people.
Go right ahead. Continue. Protect the people, yeah.
Yeah. Tim, I listened to Rick Wade, right? And after he finished, I came to just one conclusion. Remember the poet, the first poem he repeated on NewsSpin. You know what I'm talking about? NewsSpin poet. Right? The first one was, it is us. It is us. And at that time, probably some people could not really understood where he was coming from. You understand what I'm saying? But looking at it today, that one poet made a lot of sense. It is us. I will not go any further, but a lot of things that are happening in this place, it is us. Have a blessed day.
You too, sir. And thank you so much for calling. 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages. Kimani, what's happening in the chat room?
In the chat room, someone says, it's protect our money. Another comment. Let's see. I have made myself very clear about how I feel about the situation with those politicians, with their entourage hacks, and its love for parties, then they are failures.
What's the message? Tim, as a Roman Catholic, I would like the hierarchy of the church to inform the congregation about the ongoing talks with John Peters and his crew on the proposed halls of justice structure. Is the Catholic Church taking a stand for its members, or is the hierarchy being blinded by political loyalties? We as Catholics want an answer from our Archbishop.
Another comment in the chat, someone says, a lot of them are crying in silence. They are ashamed. That is why they are not talking. Someone says, sorry, Stanley, but I am happy you're feeling the pinch too. Too bad. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. We need to speak up, take to the streets, call talk shows. We need to put a stop to all that crap here in St. Lucia.
Another WhatsApp message, check the coincidence that a particular minister whose name has been making headlines also is the minister associated with the advertisement issue.
Another comment, someone says, this was quite funny from Mr. Lucian, a YouTube comment. We cry only when we are individually hurt. Life ought to not be like that. We ought to call out wrong no matter where it is found. We live together and we die together.
You have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Tim, bonjour, comment vous êtes?
Moi, coulé, moi, là, moi, bien, ça fait.
Moi, fait ce jour à protect ourselves because you can't go tous les jours si tellement de l'eau, l'applique à tomber.
Ok, ça bon.
So I protect come and I protect the victory too, eh?
Because
so, comment là?
Moi là, ma collègue, moi là. Yeah, on te m'a dépo, oui, ou dans seglo.
Oui, dis-moi, c'est de moi ça yo pas pigé moi tellement moi satisfait que ça yo te pour bon moi.
So c'est je vais né en de l'eau.
Ouais, c'est juste ça, moi overflow de l'eau c'est joie.
Wet, on ça né en wet fait tout. So, oui, naï join nous. Ouais, si vous pas de kakouye, si vous pas de babier, si vous pas de di wasko ça que le lido, vous pas de handle hein?
Well, wasko moi bay pressure tout, moi je ne peux moi ni pour te bay pressure parce que là on m'a payé.
Oui.
Si m'a payé l'argent m'a dit mais moi wasko ni pour ça m'a payé bilio. Yo ni pour bay de l'eau, boire seulement de l'eau qu'on voit flow. Tank overplay, so Joma Bade tout bay overflow, c'est juste en année à deux. So c'est juste un rôle comme moins bon.
Bon content ba ou.
Oui, moi ka dit bon Dieu merci et na oui merci pour yo faire travail yo manière supposé faire. Et puis moi ka dit patron bel bonjour patron a changé oui oublier ku yo chaque là ku ya sur liberty. So moi ka changer patron, moi connaît patron et patron depuis là nous te by hot works, je connais pas tout. C'est pas tout, je connais pas tout. So, pas tout, je connais nous cadou pas avec là, mais on a mon capigé faut ne pas ou qui faut quoi couiller.
OK.
So, moi là, moi bien, en bon Dieu, Continuez à faire travail, ça, n'a coûté tous les jours.
OK, ma Kool-Aid. Merci pour crier.
Yes, I merci.
All right, okay, au revoir. What's a message? It's not protect the victory, it's protect our access to power and money. That's the real protection politicians are concerned about. Any more comments, Kimani, in the chat room?
Someone says, victory for some, suffering for others. Another comment, nothing is moving in St. Lucia. Our country finished, my people. Someone says, it's protect our money. Another comment, in PJP makes no sense. If he's so confident that he's going to win the next election, why is he trying to use the affirmation, protect the victory? Someone else in the chat says, Salty Bus has no water. Let's see.
And in the WhatsApp message, when bananas was king, I recall that Labour failed to protect the fig tree.
All of them in government that believe the CIP program is finished. This morning, Mr. Martinez called the radio station Sky FM to talk. Tim, you amaze me when you remember the year when things happen. You have me doing research to check if you are right. Someone says, Tim Stanley's cry is a cry of frustration. He was one who was a strong advocate of the SLP's rhetoric. So he should not be crying against what they are doing. Stanley, what goes around comes around. Deal with it now. You understand what it means to be living on shrinking means.
We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. I think that's Mr. Rigobert again.
Just a quickie.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my lady, my Kool-Aid, merci encore. It's me, they calling me Pato. You understand? Maybe you don't know me by Pato. You know me as Rigobert. You understand?
All right.
But it's me she's talking about, okay? When she say Pato.
What's it, Pato?
Pato?
What's
it?
They
calling me Pato.
Okay.
Pato.
Okay.
Because my real name is Patrick Rigobert.
All right.
So they call me Pato.
Okay.
You understand?
All right.
Yeah. And something else, moi vle do ma Kool-Aid a besoin de technology, moi pas ni pour moi info na, pour moi ça faire encore, moi pas pour dial, moi pas pour.
You can just the phone na, NewsSpin, dial NewsSpin bro moi.
Et moi attendre moi commencer ça là dit. Okay.
All right.
Okay, tu vas voir good one.
Okay, Pato. Donc I parle encore. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Via WhatsApp, somebody says there, so distressed over the health system, you go to the hospital and you have to stay there whole day. It is frustrating. That's not anything new. Another WhatsApp message, Tim, with all the crime going on in the country, you would expect to hear the Prime Minister asking for protection for the people. It seems the victory is more important than the people. So much for putting people first.
Someone in the chat says, the power of the media when used or utilized correctly, Kool-Aid getting her much-needed water. What of land registry reform? It takes me 5 years to probate land in St. Lucia. You pay monies and you have to wait for the longest times. Why are we speaking of nepotism, corruption, and victimization when this has been the hallmark of SLP from years past? Why expect a difference now? Someone says, protect the clicks, protect the ignorant from knowledge. That's it for me, Tim.
Thank you so much. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And we now have an update, and it's coming from the president of the Police Welfare Association. In case you missed it, he called into the broadcast yesterday and he said the following.
The Police Welfare Association is in receipt of what you may want to call a statement or statements from, one of those females, or at least two of those females. And they have already given instructions to the Welfare Association to pursue the matter. So the matter is still very much alive, and of course, the Welfare Association will do what it has to do in the best interest of its members. So that's as much as I can say about it at this time.
But just bear with me, just another question, if you may, sir. How many women have made allegations? About how many?
That Tim, I'm not willing to disclose at this point, but I can tell you the matter still remains very much alive.
President of the Police Welfare Association, Mr. Cameron Law. I did call him yesterday and had an interview with him on a range of issues pertaining to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls And messages, let me see there. What is happening in the chat room? Somebody says, PJP sounds like a cult leader telling his followers to repeat after him to say, protect the victory. And, you know, the followers were just there and they were acquiescing, you know, going ahead with it. Protect the victory. Please repeat, as if, you know, this is Sunday school or preschool. Repeat after me. Let's play it again so that in case you're just joining the broadcast, you'll get the gist, you'll understand what we are making reference to.
Protect the victory. Protect the victory. I say again to all Labour Party people, protect the victory. And say it after me. Protect the victory. Say it after me. Protect the victory.
What is more important, protecting the victory or protecting the lives of the people of St. Lucia? In particular, the horrible experience that people over in VA4 South experienced over the last year and a half or so. We have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Timothy. Good afternoon to you, Kimani.
Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
I hope that both of you are doing well. Timothy, is very sad hearing that now media houses are actually speaking out about victimization and not being able to actually, you know, get a piece of the tourism product. And Timothy, it's very, very, very sad in our society. Timothy, I work with the tourism authority, and it was not easy working inside of there. You know, it was not nice the way I was treated inside of there. So I could relate to everything people are talking about because I worked inside of there. But I always say that God is a God of justice, and God is a fair God. You know, Timothy, it's very imagine, Timothy, I'll never forget. I did a charity concert. I was the lone person to organize the concert, Timothy. Timothy, I teamed up with an individual, and I said to the individual backed out on me. So I had no choice because it was for the marginalized, and I was working inside of the Timothy. Timothy, 1 little week, right? 1 little week, that was deducted from my pay. You know, everybody have money to cater to all carnival bands. And Salet is working inside of the Timothy, and that was deducted from me. And when I was paid barely nothing. And I'm not even hiding that, but I can tell you there was victimization. I'm saying, look at that. Look at what is unfolding. And then you have an employee always, by 7:30, Timothy, I'm there already, waiting for everybody to come. And everybody relax, everybody, you know, doing what they want, Timothy. And then the sad thing again, I don't party. I am having a charity concert. You don't want to assist me in the concert, but then you want to ask me which carnival fete I'm going? I said, I'm not a fetter. What's important to me is the marginalized. And I am a young person trying to make a difference, and I had to do without a week. Timothy, I had to work there. The week was deducted. Isn't that double standard? Y'all don't want to assist me for 1 little charity concert, but y'all have had to ask me which carnival show, and everybody knows that I am a Christian, Timothy. So I totally understand. I'm not saying that every government is perfect, but I can tell you that our priorities are not right as a society. And when it comes to the marginalized, if I have to leave work at midnight to make sure that everybody gets a fair piece of the pie, Timothy, I will do it. Certain artists are the same artists being used all the time. And there is no denying that. There are artists they will use all the time, and other artists will not get a share of the pie. So if we need to have people that are objective, people, men and women of integrity that will say, you know what, I will stand in the gap. I will have to check. If I'm working a place, there are so many artists in St. Lucia, you know what, I'm not going to give one set. Let's split the pie. That's how you make a difference, you know. But if every time it's the same person that's in everything, what you expect? And I don't need anybody to support me. As long as God is on my side, that's alone. And I'm not afraid. God is on my side. I give a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. But I can tell you about victimization inside of that place. And I don't regret not being there. I know I was there. I made a difference. I would choose a fete over the marginalized. So, Timothy, I worked without pay, and they had to take off the week from me. So that's just to show you where their priorities lie. Another thing again, Timothy, last evening, I heard the CMO said that they're giving carnival bands condoms so that our young women or our young men will not just, because around carnival time, there is an increase in the number of sexual transmitted diseases. Timothy, not priests and pastors that jump in carnival. Carnival, bacchanalists jump in carnival. They are guys that hop from island to island, and what they do, they take pleasure in seeing which woman they can target. Timothy, you have barely no clothes on you. You're not a priest. Obviously, your body will, you will feel away. Come out and address the revelers and say, people, the way you address have a lot to do with men targeting you. So sometimes we have men saying, no, don't worry, it's not the way you address. Timothy, any man that's not turned on by what they see a woman have, especially barely nothing, and worse yet, there is a wall for them to go and get it good. The women are now on a stage, and the men have a good vantage point, and the photographers, they bring it to life. So the women in our society need to understand that, hello, I don't want to be called an old stove again. I will conduct myself properly during the carnival parade. So when you tell revelers you're going to give bans a whole set of condoms to make sure, you should not encourage any. We know that the women, they will have sexual activity, but I find like there is not a stronger message to say, you know what? Y'all don't know the men, y'all don't know the women, some of them come from all different islands, y'all don't know them, so at the end of the day, just abstain, because sometimes you never hear from those individuals again, and you are left with an unwanted pregnancy. Let's just tell the people the facts, rather than saying, okay, we will give bans, condoms, so that you just tell them
But ma'am, that is not the responsibility of the chief medical officer.
I'm not saying that is the responsibility, but
she's not the island's archbishop, so you don't expect her to preach to people.
So that is, as you said, I'm happy you made that statement. Well, that is what the archbishop or the other ministers of it should come out and say that, because last year, Timothy, the archbishop, gave a statement about it. Didn't you read it?
Yes.
He gave a statement about it. So I'm just saying, you put it out there again so that our young people can take note, Timothy, because we all know that we do not have the best healthcare system. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so
I do.
you try your best to educate and put the message out there so that our young people will take heed. It doesn't hurt, Timothy, to hear the message over and over again, Timothy. And as a journalist, you should know the power of information. So I just wanted to say that this afternoon. You have a good day.
You too, ma'am. Kimani, but in the final analysis, it is about personal responsibility and your values.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what you will subject yourself to, your body to, etc. What will induce you, the amount of alcohol that you will consume, so that could, to a large extent, blow your judgment.
Uh-huh.
So it's the responsibility of individuals, it's the responsibility of parents, and with regard to the CMO, it's her responsibility to tell you that you need to protect yourself against sexually transmitted diseases and provide you with condoms and what have you. It is not her responsibility to preach to you in terms of your values and things of that nature. This is not a theocracy where you preach about God and so on, especially if you are a public official.
And ultimately, like you said, it's about personal responsibility. The CMO has done her part, provided the information, provided what's needed for you to be able to protect yourself, but ultimately it's up to you to decide.
Because the thing is, not because it's carnival, you should use this as a license to go out there and just have sexual relations with anyone, people you don't know, just because you're under the influence, and
almost
just because
as if it's a whole pass.
Just because you're feeling a vibe, just because it's part of the culture of the country and so on. Everything that you do, there are implications. And sometimes people talk about, I made an error, I made a mistake, etc. Right now, in an environment, an era of enlightenment, and you have information at your disposal, and you have to take personal responsibility for yourself and your actions, and take into consideration the long-term implications.
Exactly, for a few hours, or rather 2 days of enjoyment and revelry.
You'll be in the carnival, I'm told.
We shall see.
All right, this is the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin. What happened to those gas tanks, LPG tanks, which disappeared miraculously from the Sufra Fishermen's Cooperative Society? How many were returned? Stay with the broadcast. Back in a bit.
Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely. First National Bank acknowledges the significance and accountability associated with vehicle ownership. For this reason, we have partnered with leading insurers to provide our vehicle loan customers with motor vehicle insurance that is not only comprehensive but also affordable. Policies cover a wide range of scenarios, ensuring that whether it's a minor mishap or a major accident, you're protected without the worry of financial strain. This insurance is designed to integrate seamlessly into your lifestyle, safeguarding your journey without adding to your financial burdens. Our preferential rates are part of our commitment to ensuring that every customer can drive with peace of mind. We believe that safety on the road is a necessity, not a luxury. With First National Bank, you're not just a customer, you're part of a community that values your safety and financial well-being. First National Bank, here for you.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Vintanza. The carnival spirit just enter Europe hardware, you know, and they are slashing prices as much as 15% off. Imagine, still FS 120 and FS 235 brush cutter now at 15% discount. What? But it's true, you know. The people say keep the sale going, and Europa say
okay, let's do this.
I just come from there and I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Everything with a green tag is priced to go. Welding machines, steam cleaners, vacuum cleaners, pressure washers, power generators, just to name a few.
No missy, I jump in on now. No.
Visit Europa in Massad or call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
When you feel the vibes and the music sweet, KFC on the road giving you the beat. One sandwich, so chicken fries in your hand. A drink to go, best deal in the line. Food for the road.
Enjoy Food for the Road this carnival. For only $30, you get 2 pieces of chicken, 1 sandwich, 1 regular fries, a biscuit, and a 16-ounce soda. But that's not all. There's more. When you purchase this offer, you get a chance to win carnival costumes, event tickets, KFC vouchers, and more. This carnival season, get your KFC Food for the Road.
It's finger licking good.
Discover the future of body imaging innovation at La Clinique de Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, where the gold standard in MRI technology meets unparalleled medical expertise. From the intricate neural pathways of the brain to the delicate structures of the spine, and from the vital functions of the heart to detailed multi-parametric MRI of the prostate, our higher resolution images see the unseen from head to toe. Our radiation-free Signa Prime Tesla 1.5 MRI machine is assisted by artificial intelligence, enhancing its precision in creating quality images for our trained radiologists to give you more accurate readings. Our facility ensures fast access to specialist doctors, including pain management, rheumatology, and family medicine. Proudly serving as a world-class facility in the OECS, we bring international standards of healthcare within your reach. There is no longer a need to travel overseas for superior medical services. Experience the pinnacle of diagnostic precision and patient care right here in St. Lucia. Schedule your MRI with La Clinique de Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, located in Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 for your appointment. For your peace of mind, ask about our flexible financing options, including our co-pay system for clients with healthcare.
Get your accommodation ready for the event season. Jazz, T20 cricket, and of course, St. Lucia Carnival with hot showers powered by a tropical solar water heater. We offer a variety of sizes for any house, apartment, or hotel, and efficient installation within 24 to 48 hours of purchase. Call us today to find out what specials we have in store for you. With 3 convenient locations in Beaufort, 454-6344, Castries, 453-1868, or Grosley, 450-8201. Tropical Solar, good for the environment, good for you.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastuche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand and plaster in sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastuche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastuche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
The Soufriere Fishermen's Cooperative Society, they are counting the losses. I imagine to the tune of several thousands of dollars. I remember what transpired, I think, maybe a day after the passage of Hurricane Beryl in St. Lucia, and Soufriere would have felt the brunt of the effects of that storm. Well, the general manager of the Soufriere Fishermen's Cooperative Society says that the theft of 133 20-pound gas cylinders during the passing of Hurricane Beryl has severely affected the business. According to the manager, on Monday, July the 1st, young men were seen breaking the gas cylinder racks and stealing gas cylinders from the cooperative. They were asked to stop, but continued stealing from another rack. All the gas cylinders were missing, she said, noting that the police later recovered 6 of them and a few others were returned by members of the public. The manager of the establishment said coolers were also stolen. We used to lend people those coolers to hold fundraising activities, she said. Right now, we don't have no kind of revenue. If we had the LPG, we would have been doing some business. Nothing is taking place here. Our pumps have been washed away, she lamented. She heard that some persons took the position that it wasn't theft, to which she said, once you take something that's not yours without the owner's permission, it is theft. This is extracted from the website of Loop St. Lucia. And in the aftermath of that incident, I spoke with the MP for Soufriere Fort Saint-Jacques, Miss Emma Hippolyte, and that was a reaction to what transpired over in Soufriere.
Those tanks were part of it was owned by the fisheries complex.
Mm-hmm.
They sell gas, as you know, they sell cooking gas as well as gas for fishermen.
Right.
And yes, the water affected the storage area, and what you saw were persons who helped themselves to those tanks. Also, we felt that there was a lot of gas in the water. There was still heavy scent of gas, and as a result of that, Lucilet had to put off the current last night as a form of protection.
You said that people help themselves. Isn't that illegal, then? Is that looting, basically?
If you look at the video, you could see quite a few persons carrying 20-pound and 22-pound cylinders. It's not theirs. They help themselves with it. It was not theirs. I mean, you would think that if they were honest enough, they were doing it back today.
But do you expect them to bring it back?
Well, I'm hoping they would bring it back.
MP for Fort Saint-Jacques, Soufriere Fort Saint-Jacques, Miss Emma Hippolyte. She's also the Minister with responsibility for consumer affairs. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon, Timothy.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon
How
to
are
you.
you?
I'm okay. How about you?
fine. Tim, is looting stealing?
Hello?
Looting is not stealing?
Of course it is.
Right. All forms of looting is stealing, and it's not right. And
Theft.
those persons should not have gone taking the person's things. It's not yours. You should not be taking it. But nowadays, I've noticed what is wrong is right, and what is right is wrong. Kimani,
Hi.
I'm going to write something. I think I've called 6 times, and not once have I said hello, Kimani.
And that's
Kimani,
all right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have remembered. I said no. Today. Good afternoon, Kimani. How are you?
I am doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Now, you might have to hold him because what I'm going to say there, he might not like it too.
Do you want my hand, Tim?
Pardon?
I asked him if he wanted to hold my hand.
That's okay, Kimani. That's okay.
No, you might have to pat him on his back because I've heard him once or twice speaking to you. And when you ask him questions, the answers he gave you, so you might have to be patting him on his back. Anyway, Timothy, I remember asking you once whether you had received any notice from the Christian Council about Carnival, and you said that if that came out, you didn't get any.
Yes, but I have a statement, and
You have a statement.
it will
Did
be
you
played.
ever let it out?
It will be played tomorrow. It's all about timing.
Oh, timing. Timothy, we
be
need to
played
get
tomorrow.
that because it's these things that we need to hear. When I say we, I mean everybody needs to hear because, Timothy, what's going to be taking place Monday and Tuesday, some things can be avoided probably if some of those persons listen to wisdom. If you understand what I mean?
What do you anticipate will happen?
What
Monday
I
and
will
Tuesday?
anticipate will happen, a lot of activities that will cause the increase of St. Lucia's population and a lot of children being born in misery.
That's not what I expect will happen. Huh? I expect people to go out there and have some good time.
And good fun.
Clean fun.
Well, in the process of
a
doing
lot
that,
of
Timothy,
gyration will take place.
Yeah.
A lot of, bending
Yeah, but
low,
nothing
etc.
more.
I don't expect
Nothing
anything more. I don't know. I don't know what happens behind closed doors, Colin.
doors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
agree
know.
with you, Tim. I agree with you. You're doing like our Prime Minister right
You're
now.
being sarcastic, but I don't know. I really don't know.
Timothy, okay, let's be serious. To avoid a lot of unnecessary problems to the country and to persons, it would be nice probably if you play that
The statement.
the clip, so that persons will listen. Maybe they're not hearing, and maybe you never know, they might be at their desk or they might be working and listening and they might hear. Because it's very important at this time, before it happens, that we can avoid.
Let me put it this way, caller. I don't think that's something that we need necessarily to be preaching right now just because.
Yes, we need to.
No, hold on.
Need to.
Just because Carnival is a few days
No,
from
not
now.
necessarily because Carnival. But
I think across the board, whether it's at the level of the education system, at the level of the family, at the level of the community, the church, schools, etc., we need to address those issues on a continuous basis.
On a continuous basis,
But
yes, I do agree.
It's all about personal responsibility.
I do agree.
Because
But
there are certain things you cannot legislate, caller. You understand?
I do agree, Timothy, but what I'm saying is it's not being done at all. But at this time, I think it needs to be done. Because I noticed that the wall was whitewashed. And I was so thankful. I said, okay, it is finished. Then I'm noticing that it's going to be repainted. In other words, we're going to have that again. Timothy,
and you have
a
a
lot
problem
of
with
those
that?
persons who have intentions of going there and doing it, especially the men who normally have the phones looking to watch and to focus, try to figure out if that's my mom, whether that's my sister, would I be doing that? If that's my mom,
But it's not part of our culture
if it's
to do
my
that.
sister, would I be doing that? Do I want my mom? Do I want my sister? Do I want my child to be doing that? And if that is the precedence that we are setting in future, the little ones who are 5 will be doing it, and they will see nothing wrong. Now today, it is just the women. Tomorrow, it might be a woman and an animal. It might be a woman and something else. It might be a woman doing something else. Timothy, we need to be serious about certain things. And there are times when We take things too light. We take things lightly, and then after that, it infests and it gets bad, and we cannot control it. Timothy, I think that should stop, and I hope it will stop. And those persons who are photographing it, try to remember that it could be your mom, it could be your child, it could be your sister, and you don't want that. It could be your wife too. You don't want that. Okay, Timothy? And I think there comes a time when we have to put down our feet and say, wrong is wrong. And a lot of the persons who, I notice we have visitors down here, and a lot of them are coming here to exhibit what they can do that solutions they feel cannot do. I am just hoping that they're listening to this too. Timothy, they can call me what they want. They can say what they want. We need to improve what we are doing with Carnival. If not, in the next 10 years, I don't want to see what Carnival will be. Okay, Tim?
Okay, ma'am.
Do I still have you sitting down and your
Yeah, I'm there very calm listening to you.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So, Kimani, continue patting his back for me. All right? Have a good afternoon,
Okay,
Tim.
thank you so much.
And Timothy,
Yes,
another
ma'am.
thing, before I go, I noticed when you try to speak and to uplift, persons try to put you down, Timothy, and they say the most ridiculous things. I remember calling you not long ago about the children who got knocked down, and somebody said in response, "Why doesn't she go and sell bubble gums by the stop there and watch the children?" And I said, "What?"
That was,
Timothy,
where was that? That was in the chat room or someone
in the
said?
chat.
Okay.
And Timothy, I'm saying a lot, if you don't have anything good to say, just don't say anything. Because sometimes the things are so ridiculous. And the reason why I normally call Timothy about the signs to put up for the children is because I am actually for true selling in a shop. And I'm actually for true selling to children who just run into the road. Sometimes they run into the road and the cars are coming down at a terrific speed. So I'm just worried about it, and it has nothing to do with wanting to promote myself, but to see that children are taken care of. Okay, Timothy?
Okay, ma'am.
And let's leave if you don't have anything positive to say, just keep quiet. Just keep quiet, because the negative will not bring us anywhere. Timothy, do have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much for calling. WhatsApp message, not WhatsApp message, but in the chat room somebody says, "Woman, let the people have their fun. A woman shaking her behind on a wall, not hurting anybody." Any more comments, Gimani?
YouTube comment. Someone says, "Good day. Repeat after me. Protect the BB wall." I'm assuming the Bum Bum wall.
I must take this call, Kimani, and when you hear the person, you'll know why. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You on the air?
Hello. See?
Good afternoon to you, Mrs. Sarah Flood Bobra. How are you?
Just very well, thank you. Hello, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
I trust that you both are well. Timothy, I know it's very near the 2:00 hour, but I just wanted to very quickly sort of correct you on something, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of the human papilloma virus.
Yes.
And you can
Yes, I have heard about it.
with the medical fraternity. Well, condoms don't protect against it. And the human papilloma virus is one of the factors or one of the viruses that causes cervical cancer. So I thought I would just clarify that, because you said that were the CMO perhaps to talk about abstinence, she would be preaching. No, it's a health issue. So condoms are not the solution for all of the problems that can be caused through sexual contact or skin-to-skin contact. There's the human papilloma virus, which causes cervical cancer, and we know how serious that cancer is, which affects women. So I just wanted to clarify that. The CMO would indeed be speaking purely health if she spoke of or encouraged people to abstain and to be responsible. And in addition to that, illicit sex or irresponsible sexual behavior causes a lot of mental distress and mental unwellness afterwards. And that too is health. So it's not just about the CMO taking the easy road and distributing condoms. We have to look at this in full context. And when we look at health, we look at overall health, which is what we are aiming for, optimal health. So condoms don't protect against.
But it lowers the risk. It lowers the risk, ma'am, of contracting HPV.
Well, you see, this is why we were talking about when we were in office a world-class health service. If we aim for a B, we will get a C or a D. I mean, when we talk about health, we want to be fully healthy, and we should be looking to risk avoidance and not risk reduction. This is where we always make the mistake. When I was Minister of Health, we tried to talk about looking at the risk avoidance as opposed to risk reduction. If you're simply trying to reduce the risk, you will get into problems. If we're trying to avoid a risk, we will be much more successful.
But don't you think, ma'am, we also need to be realistic. Telling people to abstain is not being realistic.
Timothy, we're at work, we have a company, we're trying to make the best or the biggest profits that we can make. We send our children to school, we want them to aim for an A, not for a B. And when we talk about the chief medical officer, who is the foremost person in the country responsible for health, she needs to say the most important things that need to be said. And of course, it's up to people to decide what they do. She's not telling people what to do, she's advising them. So she must give the best advice possible. And of course, people will make their own decisions. She's not forcing anybody. She's not holding anything down anybody's throat. But as a CMO, based on medical evidence, she needs to give the best advice possible. And then people, all of us with free will, we make the decision in the circumstances. But we cannot shortchange our people in terms of the advice we give them. And don't forget, Timothy, health has financial implications. We have to fund the STD clinics. We have to fund the mental health institutions. We have to fund the counselors and the psychologists. It comes at a cost. So it's not just purely a health or a values issue. It's also about how we use our scarce resources to ensure that we can get optimal health, because we're at a point where our healthcare system is broken. So if there was ever a time when we should be looking to risk avoidance, this is what we call prevention. This is what we call primary health care. It's all part of it. Living a healthy lifestyle. We want to do this with the foods we eat. We want to do this with maintaining a healthy weight. We also want to do this with taking the best care of our bodies and not exposing ourselves to diseases and, in fact, life-threatening diseases such as cancer. So I wanted to make that point. It's really important. It's not just for the church. It is for everybody who's concerned about the health of our nation. Because irresponsible sex has consequences. We will feel it in our pockets as well. So it's not just about values, and she's not preaching. She has to give the best medical advice, and all of us, we will use our free will to make our own decisions, but she cannot shortchange us. I wanted to make that point, Timothy.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Former Health Minister Sarah Flood Bobra. So using a condom lowers the risk of contracting HPV, but there is still a risk of transmission. This is because HPV transmits through skin-to-skin contact, not just through bodily fluids. This differs from many other STIs, which typically transmit through bodily fluids such as semen or blood. Just thought I'd share the information in light of the observation made by the former health minister. Some quick comments from the chat room, Kimani, and then I'll conclude with the NewsSpin news of the day.
Tim, still on the topic, the previous caller and also Mrs. Bober mentioned that the CMO should highlight abstinence as a form of negating those diseases. But a missive sent by the Ministry of Health in May, actually, but it was from the Ministry of Health, but from Gail Kajad. I can't remember her position in the Ministry of Health, but she did speak on protecting yourself from sexually transmitted infections and unwanted pregnancies, and advise people to abstain, be faithful, have one sexual partner, and to also use condoms. I mean, it wasn't from the CMO, but the missive was sent, and I think that, before anyone says that the Ministry of Health did not advise that they should abstain, but they did actually advise that. But in the chat room, someone says condoms do not lower the risk of HPV, which causes cervical cancer. The virus is very small and it passes through the condom. These days, there is a marked increase in young people dying from it. Listen to Mrs. Bober, this is serious. Someone says, call the police yourself and leave people alone. I don't like it either, but that's not my role to tell grown adults how to enjoy themselves legally. Stop the judgment and worry about your own morality. Someone says, my wife should not be on that wall. Another comment, so Carnival alone is going to boost the population. The problem with St. Lucian's caller is that they hear but don't listen. Someone says, protect the gas tanks, follow the leader. The chairperson should check the Facebook videos and even this pic Tim has and press charges. I read that story, Tim, and I believe no one has been arrested or charged for the theft of those gas tanks.
As far as I'm aware, no one has been arrested.
Someone says those gas tanks are only coming back when they're done and they need a new one. Another comment, well, my lady, I get your point, but it's free will. You can't stop people's free will. Someone says, my lady, let us wind our sexy bum-bums on the bum-bum wall. Another comment, my friend, I understand the saying that if God is on your side, you don't need people. But once God is on your side, God will not physically come down and support you. But the very same people that you think that you don't need, they are the ones that God will use to support you. Have you ever heard of God using the enemy to bless you? That's it for me, Tim.
WhatsApp message, somebody says the good topic relating to contracts given to SLP hacks and supporters for government-controlled events. Tamara Gibson, who is a known SLP supporter, has been made chairman of the Carnival Planning Committee. Appointed since October of last year, is mandated to coordinate and promote St. Lucia Carnival. However, she uses that position for personal gain to promote her own event known as WOW, competing with the other fetes in the lead-up to the carnival. Her event, for which she gets sponsorship from some of the same companies sponsoring some of the national events, which is responsible to oversee and promote. This is clear conflict of interest and a case of corruption to support party hacks. Finally from us, we have our NewsSpin News of the Day. South Korea politician blames women for rising male suicides. South Korea politician blames women for rising male suicides. Our NewsSpin News of the Day, and that's a broadcast. Thank you so much for listening and also monitoring this broadcast, and that is NewsSpin. Please join us tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 for another edition of the program. Goodbye.